Hey guys, welcome back to Home Built, and I finally have got myself a lift.
Hey guys, today we're going to do something slightly different. First of all, I'm speaking first, which is unusual, and also we have a really cool giveaway competition.
We've been approached by a bunch of different companies to try and promote their products, but Yode watches really stood out because they make these really cool, funky wooden watches. Mine is completely mechanical. You can see all the mechanical workings, and it's made out of zebra wood and dark sandalwood.
I'm wearing a watch from the Cassia range, so it's actually olive wood, and it's the one with the Aegean blue face and the Roman numerals, and it's very elegant. Yeah, I think wives and girlfriends would be very happy.
Yes, so make sure you click the link in the description. One of you guys will win one of these watches with free sizing and free shipping worldwide. And also, don't forget, there's a promo code, so you can get $25 off any of their watches if you just put Home Built by Jeff during checkout. The competition closes on the 26th of November, so get in quick.
So good luck.
One of you are going to win. Okay, so as I alluded to in the previous episode, I have gone and got myself a two-post lift. So now it is a matter of trying to install it. And that is going to be a challenge all in itself. So first things first, let's get the 911 out of here so we've got some space to put it up and start installing. Alright, so I've already started pulling these apart. They were sort of wrapped up in bubble wrap, and there was a bunch of boxes and stuff in them. I'm gradually unbolting them from the frames that they come mounted to either end. I'm trying to get as many heavy bits out from inside them as I can because I've got to stand them up by myself, and that's going to be a challenge. I mean, if I have to, I can wait for Mrs. Jeff. If it's going to be silly, I don't want to crush myself and kill myself under one of these things trying to stand it upright. So let's finish pulling it all apart, unbolting it, and then I can start working out a plan on how to stand it up. Oh, that is a bit of a relief. I've got them all unpacked now, and I've been able to lift up the ends, and I've realised they're not quite as heavy as I was scared of. They're heavy, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I can lift it up by myself without a crazy amount of, it's not a crazy amount of weight. Once everything's stripped out of it, the arms and stuff are really heavy, so, and they were packed inside. So, and I didn't realise you could just take them out, which is great because that's going to make it much easier to install it. So my next step is I'm going to go through and I'm going to measure out on the floor and mark out where it's going to go and try and sort of place out and draw on the floor where the feet are before I even get them off of the trailer. I'll get a bit of a plan going. Okay, so I've just marked out where the hoist is going to sit. So basically, I'm sitting in this front corner of the shed where my 911 has been living. Originally I had always planned on putting it up in the back corner where the booth is, but the booth is too practical to have in all the time. I always thought I'd sort of take it down, and then when I build a booth, I could build a booth around the hoist, but it's just not practical. It's better to have the booth. So my plan in the future is to get a new tent, because this one is dead, and build my booth hard up in the corner, which isn't at the moment. that will give me more room to finish off, more room up in the front here, particularly to get around this, this post for the hoist. But having the hoist here, I think is the ideal spot. I'll be able to work on the cars up in the front here, get them up in the air. Also have this bay next to me here where I can do some fabrication and stuff. So I've just, it just gives me a bit more flexibility in the garage. Now I just tested my slab, the depth of it. You should do this before you buy a hoist. My slab's actually about 5 inches thick, 125 mil. Ideal is 6 inches. I was talking to Hap, who's the company I bought this hoist from, and you can do it on a 100 mil slab if you're lifting light cars, but you can't get the full 4 ton out of it. If you do want to get the full 4 ton lifting capacity out of it, they actually have bigger base plates, which basically spread the load a bit further. I don't think I'm going to need them. My cars are all going to be really light, all close to 1,000 kilos, so I'm not lifting up anything heavy. They also sort of pointed out that you can keep an eye on it. If you see any cracking at all, then you around the hoist, then you really need to look at doing something else. But I'm confident it's going to be okay, and so are they. So now it's time to start getting these things out and standing them up. Ugh. They're laid out. They were much easier to stand up than I thought. So you guys have been telling me to get a hoist for a long time now, and one of the main reasons that I haven't been able to is because when I built this shed, I built it just too low. So the eaves on this shed are 2.7 meters high, or 9 feet. And the trouble is that most of these 2-post hoists that I could find, they're all at 2.8 meters high. They're just too high. And as you can see here, this just fits. That's because I found this company, Australian company, Hap, and they do all sorts of hoists, but they've got this particular hoist, which is only 2.7 meters high. So I know I don't have the roof space to be able to lift the cars right up, so I'm going to have be able to clearly walk underneath it, because I just can't get the car high enough up in the air. The shed's too low. But it's still going to make heaps of jobs easier. Even if I have to sit down underneath the car, I'll still be able to get under it without having it on jack stands like you guys keep complaining about. So I am over the moon that I've actually got a hoist in here that will fit. So now I've got them standing up. I've got them where I want them. It's a matter of now making sure they're perfectly level. I might have to shim them slightly, and then start drilling and bolting them in, starting with the far post first, and then I'll make sure everything lines up and do the inner post. Let's get into that. I just went through and torqued all of the dyno bolts up to 80 Newton meters with the torque wrench. Just reading afterwards, you're not actually supposed to use the rattle gun on them, so don't do that. In any case, now it's time to go through and start connecting up all of the hydraulic cables, and also there's some limiting cables, because basically the way these things work is there's a hydraulic ram on either side, and if you just let them go, one ram might go different speed to the other, and you don't want that when you're trying to lift the car up. So there's actually cables that sort of cross over and tie the two sides together. So I'm going to get in and start installing these things. All right, now is the moment of truth. I have filled it all up with hydraulic fluid. Everything, I think, is ready to give it its first test run. So time to push the magic button and see if anything happens. All right, well, it all seems to be working. I have to go through it now and just double check all of the lines, make sure there's no hydraulic leaks on anything anywhere. But at this stage, it all seems like it's working the way it should. I'll probably go back now and fit all of the swing arms on it to give it some more weight, because at the moment, there's obviously not enough weight on there and it's just taking forever to come back down. All right, moving on, I've got the arms all connected up. The next thing I need to do is I need to balance it. So basically the cables I put in before lock these two together so they keep the same height all the way up and down. Otherwise, as I said before, the hydraulics could lift it one way or the other, and yeah, you definitely don't want that. So it's reasonably close, but one way to test it is you can actually hear it when you're lifting it up. As it clicks, both sides should basically click at the same time. Now, I'm going to get it pretty close first up, and then I have to try it with a car on it. But for now, I'm going to just do a little bit of playing, a little bit of adjusting, and see if I can get it just right. All right, that looks pretty good. It's reasonably well balanced, it seems, at this stage. What I'm going to try now is I have to clean up the back of the shop so I can actually fit a car in here, and then try and lift something up. All right, moment of truth. I'm going to try and lift up John Lemon. Sorry to you Beetle guys and girls, but John Lemon is the most expendable car I have, if there is such a thing. I really don't want anything to happen to it, but anyway, let's give it a try. It's actually quite difficult to get the Beetle on here because these arms aren't that long and the jacking points are not... This car doesn't really feel like it's designed to be lifted up on a two-post lift. The jacking points are quite strangely balanced, but we'll just see how we go. I'm just going to lift it off the ground first and we'll see how we go. First, 1 foot lift worked quite nicely, so now I'm going to give it another try and lift it up. Everything seems to be working the way it should, so I'm going to lift it up a bit higher, just keep sort of up and down testing it, just to make sure everything is working, and that's the way I want it. Let's go again. Yes, we got the Beetle in the air. I've brought it back down and sitting on the stop, so the stops are working. It's all working the way it's supposed to. I need to move the light that's up above there. There's a fluoro tube that's getting in the way that will stop it going its full height. Yes! Yes, it's working! It's so much easier to get underneath here and do things and change wheels and everything. It's so much fun! Yes! All right. All right, that is about as high as I can get this. It is right up at the top. It's not quite high enough for me to stand fully up underneath this, but I am limited by the height of my ceiling. If only I'd made it that 1 foot higher. I thought about it and I thought, oh, I'm not going to need more than 2.7, 3 meters. Why would I need that? Anyway, it's great. And it looks like it's probably just enough to fit sort of the front end of another car underneath this. So I'll have 2 cars in the one spot, which would be fantastic. Yes. In any case, that's all I have time for today. So that must mean it's time for Fun Facts with Mrs. Jeff.
Hey guys, today I thought we could cover the history of car hoists. We need to go back to the 17th century when Blaise Pascal first introduced the idea of how a hydraulic jack would function. He went on to develop Pascal's principle, which is known as the fluid transmission principle. Using this principle, in 1851, Richard Dudgeon invented the first hydraulic jack. Interestingly, in the beginning, they used water, whale oil, and even sometimes whiskey for the hydraulic process. When cars first became popular, most mechanics had pits in their workshops so that cars could drive over. Now, these were expensive and difficult to dig, and also lighting was often really poor. It wasn't until 1925 that Peter Lunati patented the first hydraulic car lift. The idea came to him while he was sitting in a barber's chair, so he was amazed at how easily it went up and down. His invention, the rotary lift, is still sold today.
Yes! I finally have a lift! A hoist! It's great! Oh, so much room for activities. It's gonna be great. There's more. We can fit another car in here. It's fantastic. I actually tried driving our Audi in before, and I can just get it in underneath the tyre and get the garage door closed. So that's great. But I'm still not fully trusting this yet, so I'm going to leave this over the weekend up here like this. And if it if it stays up, which I'm hoping it does, then I might start trusting it a bit more. But for now...
Maybe you should leave a camera running in here, just in case you could capture the moment if it falls, which hopefully it won't. Don't forget to enter the Yode competition as well. Click on that link and you could win a Yode watch, shipping anywhere. So good luck.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, as always, like, subscribe, buy merch, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Okay, see you next time.
No, I know that. I just think don't. Which is known as the fluid hydraulic transmission. And even whiskey. I'll try it again.